The definition of a director under the Companies Act 2017 is quite interesting. As per Section 2, subsection 25, the meaning of a director is that a director includes any person who is occupying the position of a director by whatever name called. Now this is interesting because it clearly includes anybody who occupies the position, that is the post of a director, even if that person has not been given that title, that is the title of a director. So obviously this may sound confusing, but it actually simply says that it is possible that a person has been given the authority and the power to take the major high-level decisions, but has not been given this title, that is the title of a director. But as long as it can be seen clearly that the person is actually occupying the post of a director, that is actually exercising the powers of a director and is essentially in the position of a director, even if that person is not addressed as a director in that particular company, then in the eyes of the law, specifically in the eyes of company law, that person is going to be considered as a director, legally speaking at least, even if officially that person has not been given that title. So let me conclude by saying that simply any person who is appointed to perform the functions of a director, that is supervising, managing and controlling the overall affairs of the company, then that person is going to be called a director. As far as the Companies Act 2017 is concerned, even if, I repeat, that person has not been given the title of a director, in another lecture I've already discussed the minimum number of directors as stipulated in Section 154 of the Companies Act, but I want to add here that Section 154 now requires that public interest companies shall be required to have female representation on their board as specified by the Commission. So there has to be female representation on the board of directors as far as public interest companies are concerned. And this is of course quite an important development. Okay, and one final point that I want to add in this very brief lecture is that as to the question as to who can act as a director, that is who is eligible to be appointed as a director, one very important point that you need to know is that only natural persons can be directors. So remember that a company, for example, is not a natural legal person but is instead an artificial legal person, and therefore a company cannot act as a director for another company, and only individuals who are basically natural legal persons can act as a director for the company. And I think this particular requirement makes sense because a company is after all an artificial entity with no mind of its own. And if you remember from my earlier lecture on corporate management, that the very reason that we need somebody to manage the company is because a corporation, even though it is a legal person in the eyes of the law, however, it cannot act unless there are human agents running the company. So in short, it is the directors who act as the mind of the company, since the company does not have one of its own. And here, before I end the lecture, I'd like to introduce an important term that you should be aware of, that directors are therefore called the alter ego of the company. And right now, don't worry too much about this word, but just remember that this particular term is often used to refer to the directors, especially in cases where liability has to be figured out, that is, who should be made liable for, let's say, tortious liability or maybe even criminal liability. So remember that the directors are often termed as the alter ego of the company.